Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Quadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with 144,000, consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of North, Central, and South America, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. So today I'm looking at the topic of mind control. You have the Most High Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai, the ones that the world ignorantly called God or Jesus, and Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Through that, you pretty much have the human race and the world, the planet, the population. You have different nations, different people, and people looked different ways, but yet we have our own particular mind. And the Most High has mind control over the human population, even though people teach of free will, and they can't quite work out where the mind control comes from. So they can't see it and they can't understand it. But that's what we're here to explain: the secrets of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. This comes through a conversation I had last night with somebody who he understands Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, calls upon the names, and he considers himself a Hebrew Israelite. And he didn't ring me for advice, but he rang me as a quick conversation, and he ended up explaining certain things that he's been going through, certain scenarios. And someone does this, someone else does that, someone else does this, and then all of a sudden you have multiple problems upon problems. So I was explaining, and he explained to me the story. So I explained to him through the scriptures that pretty much what Yahweh's done is put you in a situation where you have to call upon him, and you called upon him, you call for help in that particular situation, and he delivered it. And so even though it seems, you think, well, why would you do that? But then he provided a lesson for you, because through that now you've learned. That's what you've got to do when you're going through these particular scenarios and these situations. You have to understand what you're witnessing, discern the spirits of people and what's happening around you, and then know how to reply to that by calling upon Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, something that only a certain portion of the children of Israel are going to do in this day before the return of Yahweh Shai, the remnant of the children of Israel, the elect. And so through that, I thought I'd go into a couple of scriptures. Now, just before I move on, that particular person, he works for a company, an English company in England, based in England, which everybody knows around the world. So I can't really say the name of it, but there's an English company, and everybody around the planet knows or has heard the name of this particular company. And I'll put it like this: what they're doing this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, this weekend, they are actually physically going through rehearsals and putting stuff together in aid of the death of the king, which is Charlie. If you understand what I'm trying to get at, you've got King Charlie. He doesn't look very well at the minute, and at the minute, like I say, this, if you like, insider as he's obviously come across the knowledge that this weekend they're going to go through a rehearsal for the fact of him passing away. So we don't know if that's actually happened, and the person that they put on display is just a look-alike, because he's always seen from afar, or we don't know if it's something that's going to happen very soon. But we do know that the world we live in, things aren't a coincidence as you seem. Things are very organized and purposely put together. You have the elites of this world, for example, they brought about World War One, they brought about World War Two. They're going to bring about a financial crash very soon, hopefully this year, 2024, the year of Jacob's trouble. So you have these people in control of society that we constantly tell you that they've got these agendas, and they bring forth these wicked plans, and they put the people under these wicked plans. But ultimately, it's the Most High that's doing this through mind control. The world is a stage, and it's the Most High's production. He's created the actors, the nations, the people to play certain parts, and he then has mind control on people in order to make them do certain things. And so then people then, they can't get their heads around this. They say, well, why would the Most High bring about so much destruction? What is the need for that? Well, the need, the purpose of what we've just been through the last 2,000 to 3,000 years, the punishment, so on and so forth. This is basically a lesson. It's a lesson to the children of Israel. It's the greatest lesson ever learnt. Not to live according to the customs and the traditions of the heathens. Live according to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, and you don't get any of this. So even though at the minute, it's hard for us to actually realize what the benefit is on the opposite side, because we haven't actually got there yet. Everything we've been through is basically a major lesson, and that's what it is. So that's why the Most High has brought so much evil, so much destruction, brought a nation from afar with a strange tongue, with a fierce countenance. These Edomites, they brought him against us. Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai raised up these Edomites, when they were in the Caucasus Mountains, in the, roughly 600 to 700 years ago. He raised them up from nothing to take over the planet, and they got on their ships and they came over to lands and they found Israelites. The Most High literally brought a nation to us of fierce countenance with a strange tongue, these Edomites. And so now we're going through all this punishment, and it's pretty much a lesson. But you see, now we're in the time where, the Most High is bringing back that remembrance to us, reminding us that we're of the seed, of the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then, from that, you are the children of Israel. So this is what I was explaining to this particular person. You have to understand that everything that's happening around you is pre-planned by the Most High. All the small events are all pre-planned by Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. So when people are bringing multiple problems to you, and it's building up, and it's all happening in quick succession, and all of a sudden it applies a huge amount of pressure to you, you got two options. You can look at it spiritually, realize that the Most High has done this, ask him why, ask him to deliver you from the situation, or you can forget about that and you can just go into it carnally, and as a man try to deal with these scenarios, and you'll find it very tough. These problems are overwhelming. You're living under the beast system. So the beast system doesn't have any point of tenderness, which you're allowed to it will soften the blow on you. So it's kind of an important thing to remember, because you're coming up to the time of Jacob's trouble. So obviously only the elect will be delivered through this particular time, a time like never been seen before. Lord willing, it's this year. If not, I pretty much believe if it doesn't happen this year, then next year will be in that time for definite. And the whole world is going to feel it, and the whole world is going to feel judgment from Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. But the beauty of knowing this truth is that you can witness events and know that the Most High can deliver you out of them. So to not then be like everybody else and think on a physical, carnal level and try to dig your own way out of these problems, because the problems that the Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai is about to bring are going to be, problem compounded with problem, compounded with problem, compounded with problem upon everybody. You're going to have a lack of food. You're going to have a financial crash, a turning upside down of the monetary system. This is going to create a lot of uproar, and you're going to have civil war, you're going to have world war, great division. Yahushua is coming to bring division across the people of the planet Earth. So you need to navigate your way through this time. You're going to witness problem upon problem upon problem. Some of them might come to you, some of them might come to people very close to you, and so this is the time at which you have to really go into full spiritual mode. And so every time you're dealing with certain scenarios, don't ask yourself, well, why is this particular person so angry with me? Ask yourself, well, is it that Yahweh Yahushua is angry with me and he's sending a message through this particular person? Obviously, it's easy to I do it myself. People come up against you with certain things, false accusations, this, that, and the other. So then you're going to speak for yourself and you're going to answer back. You have to do it in accordance with how the scriptures are guiding you. And ultimately, if you notice the problem becoming worse, then you have to look at it from the point of view, is Yahushua trying to show me something? At the same time, you have to keep praying and asking for deliverance through these scenarios. But we know everything is pre-planned through the Most High. The elites, then they're pre-planning situations, scenarios, and they bring them forth. And the prophets tell you of these things that are going to happen before they happen, as a warning, through the power and the spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. So the prophets understand the mind control that's taking place on people. I'll give you another one before I get into the scripture of what's so-called coincidences. You've got people are talking in America about the 49ers versus the Chiefs, the Super Bowl in 2020. The Chiefs won. And then you had, that famous year of 2020 and whatever happened, everybody told to stay at home, 2 meters apart, so on and so forth. And so, people were pointing out that now we're in 2024, you had the same repeat of events, the 49ers versus the Chiefs. I believe the Chiefs won again. So, what are we expecting from this year? We've got the great solar eclipse X being completed in April, and that is a sign that Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is about to do something. He's about to make something happen really big this year. That's why we call it the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, 2024. But another thing that happened in 2020, while the Chiefs were beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl, is that Liverpool, in England, Liverpool were running away with the league title, the Premier League. Now that's the first time that they had won it in 30 years in 2020, and they ran away with the league. If you look at the points gap between them and third place, is ridiculous. So they ran away with it, and I always said to myself at that time, and then all of a sudden we were all told to stay at home. And something I've always said in the UK is that Liverpool are the most watched football team. Whether people have their own particular football teams from their own areas where they live, but a lot of people will call Liverpool their second football team. The reason why we know this is because in the last 30 years, when Liverpool weren't winning no leagues, they were still top billing on TV, because because the TV people know that they pull a huge crowd. I'll give you another example. When Liverpool, they win a trophy. In 2005, for example, they won a trophy, and then they had a parade for the trophy in Liverpool. The population of Liverpool is 1/4 of a million, 25% of a million. 2.5 million people, 2.5 million people turned up to the parade. So that shows you that, outside of Liverpool, there's a big following for Liverpool. And so what's happening again this year in 2024, we got the 49ers versus the Chiefs, and guess who's top of the English Premier League, and looking like they could win it. So that could be the second time in 34 years. So there's you got to ask yourself sometimes, whether the situations are pre-planned rather than actually a coincidence. And this just doesn't just go into the elites, the high level elites. We're watching for their messages. This also goes down to you when you go through your certain scenarios at work or certain situations with your family. And like I say, Jacob's trouble's coming, so you have to be aware of how you're stepping, and who's who and what everything's about. I've witnessed lately a particular problem on work at the minute, being falsely accused, and the way that the people are presenting the issue. I'm in a completely different department, and I had this situation before 4 years ago in a completely different department, and I'm looking at the situation, and I've realised that the set of demons that are on those particular people have just jumped onto a new group of people, and they bring you the same problem in a different way, and it causes the same thing. So you have to navigate through this, and learn the lesson from it, and call on Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. This is Ephesians chapter 6. It says, "But on the whole armour of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." This is verse 11. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." You come to this truth, and you have to open your eyes and realize you're living in Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's simulation. There is a story, it's called prophecy, and the story is already written. So everybody's events, that they go through tomorrow, and the Great Deliverance, World War III, all these things are discussed in the heavens, organized, pre-planned, and then made forth to happen through the human race, through the population, through the weather, so on and so forth. It says here, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities." So I was explaining to this particular person, you've got all these people bringing these problems to you. You're calling these people wicked. They're bringing all these issues to you, but you're fighting against the principality, against the power, against the ruler of darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness in high place. Because especially if you know this truth, you know how to navigate your way through the darkness. And so the rulers of the darkness, their job is to take you away from it. Now, who brings forth that darkness? These wicked spirits. And this is Colossians 1:15 says, "Who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature." It's Yahweh Shai. We can't give you an actual image of Yahweh Shai, but we can go, for example, to Revelation chapter 1. We can give you a written description of him. 1:16 says, "For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him." So Yahweh Shai was the first spirit created by Yahweh, and with that, Yahweh Shai then went forth and created the earth and the other spirits. First of all, he created the 144,000 and other spirits, and together, they put together the planets, the planet itself, the earth, and the weather system, ecosystem, the animals, and everything else that you see around us. And obviously, so it says here, for by him were all things created, all things that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible. So now you have to consider, you've just been told, that you're fighting against the rulers of darkness in high places, up in heaven. There's you have the spiritual demon Satan. And he'll work for the Most High, and his job is to go forth and bring forth deception, and with that people bring forth wickedness, evil, and so on and so forth. This is what you see going on around you. And living in the world today, we already know this is a real dark world. It's a real wicked place. You can't leave your children alone for 2 minutes, and someone will come along and try to either murder them, molest them, get them on drugs. So this is a dark world that we live in. And there's all sorts of, I can go in all day about all the other type of darkness that's going on. And a lot of these things are created by the Most High as a lesson. We're going through the lesson. What you should really remember from now is, all this wickedness is created by us not calling on Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, not having his laws and commandments, and then not preaching them to the world. And this is what you get. Look around you today. Do you really, people wake up and say, I love my life, but really and truly, you go out there, the world's full of wickedness. This is, as humans, we're designed to survive. So that's what we do. We try to live within our means, and we try to take the good things and say, I enjoy my life, but really, it could be a lot better. You could be eating a lot healthier food, the air could be cleaner, and the world could be a lot safer place. There's many things we could go on for. So what you're living in at the minute is one huge lesson, and the lesson is this is what happens when you don't call on Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Proverbs 16:1 says here, contrast the upright and the wicked. It says the preparations of the heart, of the mind. You trace that word back, it will go to the mind. The preparations of the mind in man, and the answer of the tongue is from Yahweh, all capitals. So that's pretty much referring back to the actual name of the Most High, Yahweh. You've got camps out there that tell you that we don't have the name of the Most High. Well, it's written right there. Obviously, the blue letter will go off on their translation, but we know this scripture was scriptures are either written in the Paleo-Hebrew or the Greek. You translate it back, you find the correct words that were used, and you have a better understanding. So we understand here that this is the Most High's name. It says, all the ways of man are clean in his own eyes. So this is what people out here think. You talk to people, they think they haven't done anything wrong. They think that how they live is how they have to live. People will pull wicked stunts, and in their eyes they see it as like they haven't done anything wrong, because they feel like they have to do that in order to make it in the society. It's that type of world, right? If you go to London, I'm pretty sure if it's the same thing in New York, someone will be attacked, and someone will be screaming, standing there, and a lot of people will just walk by. They just won't give a shit. And that's the type of world we live in. But in their eyes, these people say, well, I can't get involved. I could end up getting hurt myself. So in their own eyes, they're clean themselves. And this is all coming through their thoughts. It all comes through the mind control. We talk about demons. A demon is pretty much a spiritual mind control. We refer to demons as mind control that's bringing wickedness. We refer to the mind control that's coming on a righteous side. We refer to them as angels, but really spirits, angels, demons are all the same thing. The only difference is, what does it come to you to do? And they jump on you, they talk within your mind, and they make you act in the way that you act. It says here, all the ways of man are clean in his own eyes, but Yahweh weigheth the spirits, because he put the spirit on you. We have our own individual spirits. That's maybe why you like, maybe you like music, or you like certain particular things that you're attracted to. Maybe you've done those things in your past lives, when you were here previously with those spirits in different bodies. But ultimately, we have other spirits that attach up onto us, and they come into our minds and they control us. And the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, decides what to put on us to make prophecy come to pass. So for example, I didn't make a decision I didn't wake up one day and make a decision to decide to make these videos and teach this word. And the Spirit was put upon me to do it. And so while the Spirit's on me, I'm going to keep doing it. The same with anybody else out there. But then there are false prophets, and the Spirit has been put on them to teach a lie. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has given them a strong delusion, and they are set up to take people who the Most High doesn't want to give the truth. they're set up to take those people away. They've heard of Hebrew Israelism, or being a Hebrew Israelite, whatever you want to call it, and they now think, that's something I need to be a part of. But ultimately, they're not a part of the elect. The Most High needs to keep them away from the true understanding. He doesn't want them to have these secrets, this knowledge. He doesn't want them to be able to go into the world and discern what we can discern, and decide that, look, these people, they're bringing me this problem. Maybe this is a message from Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. They don't understand that Yahweh way of the spirits. They think they have self-control, own free will, sorry. It says, commit thy works unto Yahweh, and thy thoughts shall be established. Yahweh hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. And that pretty much refers to these Edomites. But there's a lot of people out here that are living in that Edomite mentality, the way of the world, and they're just as wicked, if not worse. They've taken it, and especially the children of Israel, they've taken it to the wickedness to a whole new level. Now, this is Genesis chapter 28. This is kind of where I wanted to start off, really, with the lesson. Obviously, this is what, where I was speaking to this particular person, explaining, it all starts from understanding Jacob's dream. This is Genesis chapter 28, and Jacob's on a journey, basically. As you can see at the top, Jacob is sent away, and you go into Genesis chapter 27. Obviously, he was told to go. You should know the story, really, but you can go into 27 and 28 if you're new to this. But Genesis 28, it says, and Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padanaram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from hence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. So pretty much Jacob's making this journey, and along the way he stops to have a rest. This is Genesis 28 and 10. It says, and Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran, and he lighted up upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. So he was making this journey, and he got to a point where it was nightfall, and obviously the sun was going down, and he decided to rest, and he took the stones of that place and put them for his pillows and lay down in that place to sleep. My man's using a stone for a pillow. We'll get on that. 28 and 12, and he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of the Most High ascending and descending on it. And it says, and behold, Yahweh stood above it, all capitals, Lord Yahweh stood above it, and said, I am Yahweh, God of Abraham thy father, and God of Isaac, power of Abraham, power of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, everywhere, multiplied, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south, and in thee and in thy seed shall the families of the earth be blessed. Especially when the Israelites are put in power, these nations will be under our rule, but they will be blessed when they're living under the laws and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And that starts from the nation of Israel, which comes through the lineage of Jacob. So, and you look at it, and you look at the scenario. So, Jacob's traveling. He's decided to, the sun's going down. He's decided at some particular point, I'm going to take a rest. He's had the rest. He's had the dream. Yahweh's given him the dream, and Yahweh has said to him, look, where you're resting, I will give you this land. So how's that for coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai set him up. Timed everything. He put the timing on certain things to happen, but the timing on Isaac to say to him, go now. And then he made that journey. He could have made the journey a bit faster. He could have made it a bit slower, but he made it at a particular speed. He arrived at a particular point. He decided to rest at the same time the sun was going down. So all that was organized in the heavens. The Spirit was put on different people to make that scenario occur, so that the Most High Yahweh could come and say to him, where you lie, I will give you this land. But it says here, and he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of the Most High ascending and descending on it. So Jacob has pretty much been, so don't forget, Jacob, the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, so that's who we are. So we should understand this as well. Jacob has understood that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has pretty much got mind control on these people, on people around him. He's the power. He understands that this is the Most High, this is the power, the same power that went to Abraham and Isaac. And that power has a ladder, and the ladder, he's sending angels, spirits, demons, all the same thing, up and down. Now we know some of these demons come with evil intent, some of them come with righteous intent, and it's all part of the plan of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Now theoretically there is no ladder, physically there's no ladder, but theoretically the ladder would give the understanding of what people call so-called UFOs. So the Most High will send angels into the planet. They can travel around in chariots of Israel, which people will call so-called UFOs, something we're seeing more and more of as we get closer to the day of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So that's the representation. Now you could call it a portal, a certain particular place where they come in, where they come in and out into this particular dimension, into this world. I haven't been through the journey personally. I can remember it. So at the minute, but that's how what Jacob's been shown is a representation of, this is how I do it. I send these angels, they come back forth, they go, they come back, they go, they come back, and I'm sending them messages, and they jump on people and they control people, and that's how I make prophecy come to pass. It's just, I had a similar situation, I've explained before, when I found out I was a Hebrew Israelite, is because the angel came and pretty much told me, he said, you're a Hebrew Israelite, the Bible's for you, blah blah blah, showed me the captivity, 3,000 years, showed me the journey, and I've explained that before. And then after that, I discovered, a couple of months later, 6 months later, I discovered Hebrew Israelites. I was like, okay, so these people are part of that great awakening that I've been through. And then after that, I went through a lot of problems, a lot of issues, and what I was trying to work out at the time is that you're the Most High. You've shown me, that you're there, and now you're making all these problems occur, and I couldn't really work out how he was doing it or why it was happening, and it got really bad. He strips everything from you. That was my mini Jacob's trouble. And so what happened? You pretty much start to lose the plot. You pretty much lose your mind, because what the Most High is showing you is that I control all these people, and that's when it all disappeared. The moment, I can remember it to this day. Then it got to the point where I realized it clicked. I said, okay, so you send these angels down to these people, they work on their brain, they make stuff happen. I'm talking to this guy can't get it, he's talking shit, he's just acting crazy, he can't see the blatant obvious, or some sort of denial is installed in his brain. It's because you've put a block on his brain. How are you doing it? You're doing it through the angels. So that was my little moment of me going, okay, the ladder. So that's, I didn't know of the scripture at that particular point. I hadn't actually found GMS really at that point either. I just realized that there were Hebrew Israelites out there, and I was just sifting from camp to camp. Obviously, eventually I came to the men of GMS, realized they're breaking the scriptures down according to exactly how I see them. So I know that's who to follow for the teachings of the scriptures. But that was that particular moment, the ladder. That's what he does. That's how I can see what he's shown Jacob. Because by showing him the ladder and showing, look, they come back and forth, he's showing the mind control on the people. That's what spirits are coming for. That's what angels, demons, That's what they come for. They come to jump on the minds of animals, on people. Even the wind has a spirit. The Holy Spirit is like the wind, so you don't know where it's coming, you don't know where it's going. But once it hits you, your eyes will be open to these scriptures and you understand it. But all praises to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. So actually I should just go back. I should have really read a little bit further on. Verse 15 says, "And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest." Don't forget, angels encampeth around about those that fear Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. It says, "And will bring thee again into this land, and I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee." And Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and he said, "Surely Yahweh is in this place, and I knew it not." And he was afraid, and said, "How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of the Most High, and this is the gate of heaven." So Jacob understood the portal, if you like the word portal, the gate to heaven. He understood, the house of the Most High. How dreadful is this place? And don't forget, in ancient times, those that, were not familiar with the name of Yahweh, mainly the other nations, they referred to the Most High as Al-Shaja, demon-like power, and the dreadful one. It says here, how dreadful is this place? So Jacob understood, he saw the ladder, he saw the Most High at the top in control, he saw the spirits coming back and forth to do their job, and he understood that this was a particular portal, and this is, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of the Most High, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city was called Luz at first. It says, "And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If the Most High will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall Yahweh be my power. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be the Most High's house. And of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the 10th unto thee." And so, don't forget, in these latter times now that we're in, the members of the elect, the 144,000 represent the stones. They all represent individual piece towards the temple, which is within the elect, and they contribute as stones, individual stones, to this temple, and Yahushua being the cornerstone. So this is Mark chapter 5, and so when you go into this particular chapter, this is Yahushua and the disciples travelled, I believe it's over the Galilee Sea into, it says here, the Gadarenes, which I believe is modern day Jordan. This is Mark 5:1 says, "And they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit." So this is Yahushua speaking, coming off of the ship. It says, "Who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains." So, Yahushua has come off the ship, he's come across this man who's come straight to him. He's an unclean spirit, he's hanging, dwelling among the tombs, graveyard, and no man could bind him, not with chains. You can't tie him down. It says, "Because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broke in pieces, neither could any man tame him. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. So this guy is pretty much a madman. He's dwelling amongst the graveyard, and people have tried to chain him up, but he keeps breaking the chains. How the hell is he doing that? And it says always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, in the graveyard, crying and cutting himself with stones. So you've got this guy, he's pretty much a madman, a crazy man. And as it says at the top there, a man with an unclean spirit. Back to that, the ladder. So the Most High sent an unclean spirit, an angel, a demon, a spirit down the ladder into the planet onto this particular man. It says, and always night and day, and he was in the mountains, tombs, crying and cutting himself with the stones. So even the cutting himself, this is self-harm. This is self-harming himself. So definitely, nowadays they won't. Someone will be self-harming, and they won't say, this guy's got an unclean spirit on him. They'll say they'll sit him down in front of a psych. Now the psych might help you, but a fat chance that it won't, and it might help them to address the problem at first, but eventually the problem will keep coming back because it's a spirit. So alcoholics or drug users, they constantly keep going back to it because this is just a spirit that's on them. You can put them through all the rehabs in the world. Obviously there are some rehabs. You can detox your body, you can clean your body, you can do certain things to improve your health and the functioning of your body with inside. But with alcohol, for example, you go and detox, you remove it from your system, you go to rehab for how many weeks, you come out of it. They're counting the days. How many days am I clean? 1 day, 2 days, or 6 weeks, or 1 year and 5 days. Eventually, at some point, most of them go back to it because the spirit just jumps back on them. It's only if the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua decides to remove that spirit from you. So carrying on here, Mark 5 and 6 says, but when he saw Yahushua afar off, he ran and worshipped him. So imagine that, this guy, he's got his own spirit, his own personal spirit, whoever he is, and then now the Most High has put an unclean spirit on him. And this guy is acting crazy, he's breaking chains, he's howling, he's crying, he's hanging around the graveyard. But soon as he saw Yahushua, that spirit within him recognized the spirit of Yahushua. So all he could do is react upon that spirit that's in him, that wild, unclean spirit, and it still made him run to Yahushua and worship him. That's because Yahushua is the first created spirit. He's he's before every other spirit. So every other spirit, the 144,000, all the demonic spirits, all the evil spirits, they're all under his control. And obviously he's under Yahweh, it's Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. So that's why, as soon as unclean as the spirit was, and as much as the crazy stuff it made this particular man do, as soon as it recognized Yahushua, that spirit made the man just run and worship, because that's all you can do. You see, at the minute, you've got a lot of people out here living their lives that you come across daily, and they've all got unclean spirits on them. Just because they don't, cry and shout and scream, just because they're not busting chains with their bare hands, doesn't mean, that they're like this particular guy, but they've still got unclean spirits on them. And people are committing adultery. So straight away, you've gone from, a woman's gone from man to man. You've got multiple, you've got unclean spirits on you, from different men. Happens with men as well. Men go through certain scenarios. And, all we're doing in this world, the things that they make you go through, encourage these spirits to manifest in you. That's why the world is getting worse. That's why people's mentality is getting worse. That's why, people's brains are pretty much like the toilet. There's nothing good going on in there, because they're just, even with it's in a social media, it's a demon. It's a social media demon. You have to fight yourself like it's an addiction to stay away from it. That's a demon, the same as the alcohol. Everything that's going on, even certain things that people are into, the way they make money, everything. There's a lot of wickedness out there. We see it all day, every day. People are still able to go to jobs and function and show that they're sort of normal, but they go home and they're demons. but they don't, no one will call it to them, and they won't admit it, but they just live their life. They just keep going round and round. But you come across these people, they create issues for you. You're looking at it, you're looking at the situation black and white. You're saying, well, why would you even go there? Why are you even doing this particular issue? And obviously it causes an issue for you, but you have to remember, you are not part of this. You're separate. You know what is making them behave that way. So you then now have to go to the top of the chain, right to the top, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and you have to ask yourself, are you speaking to me through these people coming at me? Are you testing me? You want me to call on your name more? You want me to, just whatever. There could be multiple things. It depends on the scenario that you're going through. It depends on the situation that you're going through. So moving on here, Mark 5 and 7, and he cried with a loud voice and said, what have I to do with thee, Yahweh Shai, thou son of the Most High God, Most High Power? I adjure thee by the Most High that thou torment me not. So this man has run straight to Yahweh Shai and pretty much saying, please help me, torment me not with that particular demon. Now, there's people out here that don't feel like they're being tormented. This is why we're living in such a wicked society, because people haven't learnt this type of information, this understanding. When the demons come to them, work in their mind, speak in their ear, create thoughts within their brain, they go with it. And when you boil it down, you look at their act, the things they do, they're actually wicked. But people don't see it as torment because they haven't been told this is what's going to happen. They've been told everything's free will. You have free will. You can go and do what you want. And in this society, that's why they always encourage your emotions, your feelings. Oh, well, if that's how you feel, just behave on it. If you feel like you want to change from a transformer, just do it. But obviously, even with these problems, with these people, later on down the line, they incur multiple problems. They won't sell you that. In this society, they just sell you the idea of acting on impulse, on your feelings. And so the feelings, these demons jump on you. Oh, I wouldn't mind trying that. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's naughty to do that. But fuck it. Who's watching me anyway? I'm going to go and do it. No one can see. No one can say nothing to me. There's people doing wickedness behind closed doors all day, every day. And only the Most High, the Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, can see all of it. The voice of the Most High is the prophets and the eyes of the angels. So these demons, these angels, the spirits that are coming up and down this ladder are also taking witness, taking account. And they run back and say to the Most High, what else do you want me to do? The Most High will say, go back to this man and send him a strong delusion. I need to get some people away from the truth because I want to judge them in the day of judgment. And what I'll do, I'll set up a false prophet that will tell you we don't know the name of the Most High. Go forth on that man and make that happen so that it happens. And now you're out here, you can see these people and they run to certain teachers, and these teachers are saying we don't have the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So it says here, torment me not. It says, but these people, like I say, out here today, they don't really see themselves as being tormented with spirits. They thrive off of it. They function off of it. They love it. They don't realize what's happening. They just think it's their own free will, and then they just go ahead with this nonsense that they do. Mark 5 and 8 says, for he said unto him, Yahweh Shai speaking now, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, what is thy name? So Yahweh Shai is asking the spirit, what is your name? And he answered saying, my name is Legion, for we are many. It says, and he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. So, he's told the demon to come out of the man, but the demon, he came to, make stuff happen. So he's pretty much saying, he's begging him, do not send me away. It says, so 5 and 11 says, now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding. Swine of pigs. It says, and all the devils besought him, begged him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. So those unclean spirits know that Yahweh Shai has the power to send them straight back to the spirit world, but they're like, yeah, we're here to do a job, we want to do stuff, many of us. Okay, you want us out of the man, let us at least jump into the swine over there, the herd of swine, that we may enter into them. It says, and forthwith Yahushua gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000, and they were choked in the sea. So, these spirits, demons, angels, when they come with a job, they just want to activate on the flesh. So they have to get into the mind of the flesh, work on the mind, and make them do something. Why would this herd of swine just run into the sea and choke themselves? The spirit made them do it. So you look at it, you go, well, these pigs have lost the plot. No, it's an unclean spirit that's been put on them. So you can't be like the people in the world. You can't just rubbish scenarios off. It'd be detrimental to your own self. So you need something you've got to remember when you're going through Jacob's trouble. And, one other thing regarding Legion, once I was asked a question, I was explaining this type of information to a particular Jake, and he asked me the question. He said, what about the football game, the sporting event? You take it back to what I mentioned at the beginning. You've got these sporting events. It seems like coincidence. You've got particular results that repeat, and it's all back down to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua controlling everything. So he brings about these particular results, albeit through putting the spirit on Esau to fix the match, or through the actual individual players on the pitch. You look at a football stadium, you've got 90,000 people sitting there, fans sitting in the stadium. So that's 90,000 demons minimum, because chances are none of them know this truth. So they've all got at least one demon on their mind, blocking them from the 100% truth. And then they have other particular demons on them. They may have 2 to 3 to 4 to however many. So really, within that 90,000 crowd, you're hitting about 200 plus demons, at least 1,000. You've got 22 players on the pitch. There's 22 demons. That's why people sometimes say he's playing like a demon. And what's given them that drive, determination to forsake everything, but all that hard work to get to that particular moment, that's all down to the determination within the mind, and that's the demon control that gets them in that particular zone. The managers, so on and so forth, screaming and shouting. They've all got that footballing demon on them, or that commander demon on them. The biggest demon in the football stadium is the best player, the one who's barging through everybody, the one who's stepping over everybody, the one who's breaking down the walls, and pretty much turning the match. That is, chances are that's Legion. That's why he's busting through everybody. That's Legion, or at least the strongest demon in the stadium. But that's all you've got. You go to a football stadium and you've just got thousands of demons. And like I say, you watch particular matches, sporting events, and certain people turn up, certain people don't turn up, and sometimes it can be quite strange. And ultimately, it's down to the spirit that's on them. A lot of these players have, they're all in top physical shape. They're all pretty much on a level when it comes to physical fitness. Obviously, some of them have individual talents, individual levels of skill, which is something that they're able to repeat. But then it comes down to that demon, and the demon jumps on them and gives them that drive, that determination, and it just puts them that one step ahead. Like I say, the best player on the pitch is usually got the strongest demon on him, and it can go the other way. You can get people with talent who never fulfill their talent because they have demons, different types of demons on them, which take them away from training properly and doing certain things. So that ultimately can ruin a career. But back to it. You look at the stadium. It's just thousands upon thousands of demons. You think of all the people in the earth, most of them have at least got one spirit on them, which is to blind them from the truth, the spirit of sleep and slumber. And then obviously, there are other things out there, things that people doing. You've got these, in America, these satanic rituals that take place during the stadium at halftime. So, that's just, worshipping false idols and so on and so forth. And that's just encouraging and got them under more demonic control. So this also comes with the subliminal messaging. 5 and 14, and they that fed the swine and told it in the city and the country, and they went out to see that it was done. So the word got about. People came in and say, "Wow, is that what Yahushua just did?" It says, and they came to Yahushua and see him that was possessed with the devil, that first man that came up to Yahushua and had the legion sitting and clothed and in his right mind, that they were afraid. So, so they've come along now, a crowd has gathered and they've seen what Yahushua, and they're going, wow, look, this guy was basically losing the plot. He was hanging around the graveyard and crying, howling, cutting himself, self-harming. All of a sudden now he's sitting clothed and in his right mind, and they're afraid. They were like, wow, what did he do? This Yahushua somehow just changed this guy, obviously, working through the spirits and the demons. And so it says they were afraid. And this is another thing. So you're living out here in this day and age. A lot of people aren't in their right mind. A lot of them aren't. They think they are. They don't think they're being tormented. They've been told to live off impulse. Thoughts come into their mind. They do bullshit. They do bullshit stuff all day, every day. They talk shit. They behave shit. They do wicked acts. And they lie, cheat, and do whatever else. And it all comes through that. But these people aren't in their right mind. You're only in your right mind when you know the truth and you know why people are behaving the way that they're behaving and what's actually occurring. So we're in our right minds, because you can see 3-4 people stand up against you, falsely accuse you, do this, do that, and you can see through the shit straight away. You can work your way through it and through the spirit of truth. You can say, well, this person's lying, this person's only trying to get their own benefit out of the situation. If I present that and that, I can work my way out of the scenario. So it's all through that understanding that Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, you call on that name, and all these unclean spirits have to bow down. When Yahushua returns, this is what's going to happen. The fear of God is going to strike into the human population of this planet. All your spirits are made by Yahushua. So when Yahushua rocks up and is pretty much there, your spirits are going to quake. Not just your blood pressure is going to go up and your hands are going to shake, your adrenaline is going to go, but your spirit on the inside is going to crack with fear. Mark 5 and 16 says, and they that saw it told them how it befell to him that was possessed with the devil, and also concerning the swine. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coast. So then they got to the point where they're like, Yahushua, you need to go. And when he was come into the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him. Howbeit Yahushua suffered him not, but said unto him, go home unto thy friends, and tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee, and hath had compassion on thee. And he departed and began to publish in Decapolis how great things Yahushua had done for him, and all men did marvel. So it's right there. You see, you got Jacob's ladder, the spirits, the mind control that work on people. They could turn you into a madman. Yahushua can click his fingers and have you hanging around the graveyard tonight, howling, crying, self-harming. But he could even put that spirit on you where you're breaking chains. And there's a lot of people out here today, with these mental health issues, and people say, oh no, he's just stuck on drugs. Well, the drugs encourage it into your mind. The drug comes with a demon, They open up your mind to it, and obviously it keeps coming back. But ultimately, there's a lot of wickedness out there, and there are people pushing wicked agendas. But Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is the one controlling that, and he can control the righteous side. He gives us the truth, and gives us the understanding of who we are. He opens our own eyes to what we're actually seeing, and for that we have to be grateful. And before I go, I've got 3 more precepts. It's getting on a bit, so I don't want to make it too long. This is Isaiah 30:21. It says, "Thine eyes shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left." So this is of Yahweh Shai's voice, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Only the members of the elect in this time, in this great awakening that's taking place just before the day of judgment, only with those members of the elect hear that voice, and it will guide them through certain scenarios. We're coming to a time like Jacob's trouble. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai might put you through a few problems quickly, and it might shake you up a bit. You might go into pray mode a bit more. You might do some more fasting, and ultimately that's purifying you, cleaning you, and preparing you, getting you into the mode, because Jacob's trouble is around the corner, and that's the only defense you're going to have. Money is going to be useless. Saying I've got this, I've got that, whatever, is going to be useless. Jacob's trouble, the judgment from the Most High is coming. Mind control is going out in demonic evil form to bring all this wickedness to come to pass. So you want to guide your way, you want to navigate through it. You're listening for the Holy Spirit, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, talking through your third eye, guiding you. Take a bit of time, assess situations, read what's happening. Don't just react. Don't just be ready to react. Don't just be ready to be too friendly or happy, or overwhelmed with what people are doing. Stand back, watch what's happening, apply it to the scriptures, and ask. If you're real stuck, ask Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, can you guide me through this particular scenario? Isaiah 45 is the Most High, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. So you got all these camps out here that tell you they don't have the name of the Most High. It's written here, all capitals. I, Yahweh, do all these things. Form the light, create darkness, make peace, and create evil. So if you don't know who Yahweh is, you don't have the name, you don't know who's making peace, you don't know who's creating evil, how are you able to but prophesy? And these people aren't. They read scriptures, they tell you this destruction's coming, but they don't give you the name of the Most High, and B, they don't lay out the pathway to the destruction in detail like the true men of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai can. And last one is this, Isaiah 42:5. It says, thus say the Most High Yahweh, that he created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth, and that which cometh out of it, he that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and the spirit to them that walk therein. So when you're getting into these scenarios, ask yourself, what spirit has the Most High put on this person? Is it to teach me something? Is it for me to steer clear from this person? Or is this a righteous spirit? It's for you to discern. But remember, you have to remember that Jacob's ladder is always open for business. There's always spirits coming down every day, every hour of every day. They're coming down, and they're going forth to flesh, human beings, animals, so on and so forth, and they're making themselves active. And you're now witness to that, because you're on the receiving end. When you go through life, through society, and you come across these people, you got to ask yourself, what spirit is this particular person walking in? So with that, I'm going to leave it right there. All praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Kwadash. And until next time, Shalom.